your calendars. The AZ Oktoberfest 2025 is happening 31st of October to November 2nd at the iconic Nitro compound in Maricopa, Arizona. This track is next level with huge elevation, massive jumps, and fast technical layouts that keep the action intense all weekend long. Add some night racing under the lights and perfect fall desert weather with temperatures from 70s to the low 80s, and you have the ultimate RC weekend. Classes include novice, sportsman, intermediate, pro, 40 plus, short course truck, and you have the open class. This is for any skill level as a second buggy class. And of course, they have a 16 and under class with their dedicated 16 and under final. Race and hang out with RC stars like Ryan Maifield, Spencer Rivkin, Spencer Heckert, Camden Lime, and the Iceman, Mason Fuller. They have a massive raffle from all the sponsors that participated, live coverage by Mod Live Media. This is one race you don't want to miss. Follow the Nitro Compound on Facebook and Instagram for more details, and get ready to send it at the AZ Oktoberfest. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Monday afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Waffles with Lefty. And it's a little bit late, but you know, I'm on my second cup today. I waited patiently for this second cup of coffee, get shit done coffee, to have it. Made myself a little cappuccino and patiently waited for this. Because usually I'm in 2 cups deep by now, and maybe on my third one. But thank you to Frank Sell at Get Shit Done Coffee. We have a link where you can save some money on that in the written description of this podcast. Good morning to everybody. Are we live on Facebook? Let's see. I see nobody commenting on Facebook here. So let me just check and see if we are live on Facebook. As we are. I don't know. We only got 24 people watching. It is Monday afternoon, so people are recovering from, I would say, the weekend. What's up, RC Kevin? A long time no see, my friend. How are you? We got Rory Holler in her, the submarine man. JWRC. I haven't done any commentary on the race in a while, so I haven't seen you for a minute. Hope you're well. X-Tech tuning in from Sweden. Darren Steinhardt must be waiting on JQ. JQ is in China with Pekko. Jason Socha. Is that a Portuguese name? That looks like a Portuguese name. Go ahead and pull my name now, Lefty. What's up, Tony Schumacher? How are you? I haven't looked at the video of the new layout. I have to look at that. Oktoberfest, you guys. Check it out. We just played that ad, and they got some really cool prizes and probably one of the best tracks in the world. What's up, Chemo? How you doing? Travis RC, what's up? Just posted a vlog from my first ever RC race. I'm totally hooked on it now. Excellent. You should share that vlog. Can you share it in the comments, sir? Matt Thompson, how are you, my friend? KLD Matthews, good morning to you, sir. Danny Klaas, Smiley Hand. Danny tuning in from Belgium, home of Kevin De Bruyne and Vincent Kompany, 2 of my favorite football players. JQ and Pekko should be, they are not going to the 10 scale worlds. Pekko has not been doing any, I don't even think he did the Euros this year. So I don't think he's going to do the 10 scale worlds. All right. Well, we're going to get started here. We do have a giveaway to give away. That's probably the main reason we're here, but we got some topics to talk about. Max was supposed to do some topics, but he let me down. He was like, I'll get them done. And then he didn't get them done. So why is this not sharing on my whatchamacallit page? Hold on. If you guys can share this out, it would greatly help me out. I only got 24 people in here. I want to do more of these, but we need to get some more people in here to start doing them. And we are live. I'm going to share the NNRC one because for some reason, there we go. It's always set. My privacy of this is always set on. I don't know why it's set like that, but good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys had a good weekend of RC or whatever you did this weekend. Get away from all the turmoil of real life, what's happening in the world. I had a kind of chilled weekend, so my vehicle is in the shop, so I didn't really get to do anything this weekend, unfortunately, and which is cool. I was actually planning on going to see my buddy over in Santiago, who was at like a toy, action figure event, but I put my vehicle, thought it was going to be something simple, and it isn't. Well, it's not. I should say it's nothing simple. It is pretty simple, but I'm doing some maintenance on it, and we had to order some parts. So, unfortunately, couldn't make it. So, all good. I'm just sharing this out as well. Share, please. Sharing is caring. We greatly appreciate. Why am I okay? There's Mikey Primo. Why am I not seeing these on Facebook? All right, let me close that down and let me bring up the comments here. 1 second, everybody. If you like these lives, they're kind of impromptu. Yeah, why am I not seeing oh, there we go. There's Mikey Primo. How you doing, man? Track work counts as an RC Sunday. Hey, somebody's got to do it, right, Chemo? Track looks great in Durham, Bermuda. It's Czech, not from Israel. I said Portugal. Socha. I would love to go to the Eastern Bloc of Europe. What's up, Raymond Gaginski? How you doing, man? How is my good friend and young up-and-coming racer, Gabriel Santiago, doing? The gate starts look fun as heck. We're going to talk about that. What's up, Magnus Berglund? Perfect Dinner Entertainment. He's in Sweden as well. Shout out to all the Europeans. That's kind of why I did this. I kind of want to get the Europeans in here as well. I am doing a live on the J Concepts and NNRC Facebook and YouTube this Thursday night. We do have Brock Champlin coming up. It's an INS live. I don't know if I'm dropping a show this week, so this is kind of the show. Max and Andrew Salvaggi and I are getting together next week to record a pre-Worlds podcast, which should be really good because Andrew is actually going to be there. He's the team associated manager. I have some podcasts in lieu, but I'm actually trying to hold them out because I'm going to be going for like 6 weeks. So I need to have content coming out. So I have the Sota Shot Guy. I've interviewed Mark Santa Maria. I've interviewed Paul Thacker. I'm going to interview the guy from Test Logger as well. I also will. That's right. I had your flag wrong at Wicked Weekend. That was all my mistake. We did have a Israeli kid there. He was named Harold Sandroff. I do apologize for that. So, J-Dub, I'm about to be going for a couple weeks. I'll be back. So when I get to it, I'll be okay. Sweet. Where are you racing to, Travis RC? Where do you race? Raymond Gaginski, I'm all right. Hurt my back, so haven't driven an RC car in over 4 weeks and still out for 4 more weeks. Also, Gabe is doing well, and he went and practiced this weekend. And yep, FRCC Callahan this weekend coming up, and should be good. Peach State after that. I am sick that I am not going to Peach State. I really love it up there in Tiger, Georgia. Every time I go up there, I find something new that I like about that. But I'm not going this year, but I'll be in America 2 weeks after that. Time is flying. Jesus, I only got about 3 more weeks left here. I need to get out and do some stuff. Shout out to Beach RC. Shout out to all our sponsors, actually. Let's name them off right now. Obviously, J Concepts. Just bringing up. You know, got to have the list of sponsors here ready. And I don't, unfortunately, as usual. So a big shout out to J Concepts, High Tech RC, Sidewinder Fuels, Latera Racing, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Dollar Hobbies, Side Piece Racing, Get Shit Done Coffee, Elite RC Productions, RC Project, Mayako, Tekno RC, Beach RC, Racecraft USA, and Clinic RC. I got a product here from Clinic that I'm going to show off. I finally finished my Tekno MT48 as well, Monster Truck. A big shout out to those companies as well. A big shout out to the patrons and YouTube members of the podcast. If you guys wish to support this podcast a little bit more, get some early content. I need to figure out how to do some just Patreon only lives as well. I think I know how to do it. And then we can go in there. We can really have some fun. A big shout out to our drivers, David Ronafel, Robert Battier, Alexander Hackberg, Maddie G, Pekko, Evening, Una Hotman, and Mason Fuller, the Iceman, who went out to do some I'm confused. Was that Supercross this past weekend that they went to, or what? Do they have another half of a season going on in Supercross? I have not been following Supercross or any of that, so please forgive me for my ignorance on that. But I saw that the Fullers went and to a Supercross event with my buddy Christopher Craig. I'm not sure what that was. So, yeah, maybe you guys can let me know in the comments what that was all about. All right, so this past weekend, I guess we're going to get let's get the drawing out of the way. Will I be at the last, sorry, Raymond Gaginski, will you be at the last FRCC 8 scale? That is the plan. It's there. Either I'm going to be there or I'm going to be at the Oktoberfest, one of the two. It's like I'm torn between both. I have not been to a FRCC this year yet. And it's at Mills, which I really, really do like a lot. Speaking of sponsors, any thoughts on the RC Project diff washers? They're proud of it, but I think it needs that little mofo. Also, yeah, I think your boy Joseph is actually building a Maifield tractor. I actually think so. I don't know what you mean by the mofo comment. Oh, I needs that little mofo. I think it's actually pretty cool, right? Because so there's two products that I would recommend, right? And from two different sponsors. So actually, let's just bring that up right now. So here we have, I've always liked this. I bought this here recently from Clinic RC. Shout out to Tony Newland and his lovely wife, Vicky. This is a Clinic RC diff drain. So I absolutely hate dealing with diffs, right? So let me open this up. So this is actually pretty cool. You can get like, and sometimes you have this big, thick, like in my monster truck, I have 100, 200,000. That's going to take forever to get out of there. So this is a cool little stainless steel drain that you, let me get it out of. Actually, I might have to stop at some point because I am expecting a package as well from the courier. So if I have to stop for, don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. But we're going to do an unboxing of this diff drain. So basically what it is just two parts. So you have two parts right here. You have this flat container, so this can go anywhere you want. And then you put it on top of there, and then you just let your drain sit in your diff sit in there and let it drain out. Great product. And then what you can do is then take that RC Project diff washer. I guess you can fill it up with some thinner or whatever you use to clean your diffs and put it in there and get them all nice and clean. Because I actually used to do that in a little jar. Like put all the diffs and stuff in the jar and then just let it soak and clean everything like that. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. RC Project makes some good stuff. So it I think you can't go wrong. Use this to get all that thick stuff out. You can like set your diffs overnight or whatever, set them for 45 minutes, let that stuff drain out as much as possible. And put them in that RC Project diff washer and let it get really, really clean. Really, really clean. All right. So I think we're going to get the drawing out of the way because I know a lot of you are here for that. I want to say a big shout out to the Elite. We're going to talk about SIK Cross as well. Go over some of the results. I don't know too much about it. I know it was all heads up racing. I did watch a little bit of it. I didn't watch much. I kind of tuned out of RC a little bit this weekend. I tried to do that some weekends as well. X Attack asks, what is the best for cleaning of silicone oil and diff oil? I use like thinners, paint thinner. I know some people out there use naphtha, which is similar. I also use like carbon choke cleaner as well. But I think good old fashioned paint thinner is good. Yeah, I watched a little bit of racing this weekend, but sometimes I have to take a break from RC and just chill. And I kind of did that. I had my daughter over this weekend, so kind of hung out with her. And I watched a lot of football this weekend. I watched Premier League football. I watched the Manchester Derby, which Manchester City won. Thank goodness. First Premier League I've watched of the year, game of the year. And then I watched NFL all afternoon. And I'm actually going to watch my team play tonight, which is Tampa Bay Bucks. Yes, I am a Bucks fan. Never been to a football game in my life either, but looking forward to it. All right, so should we do the drawing? I don't want to do the drawing and all you guys leave. I only got 32 people in here, but I didn't expect much on a Monday afternoon. People are probably still reeling from the weekend. But yes, thank you all that participated in the Elite RC Productions e-ticket competitions. We did do a drawing on Saturday that went on for about an hour and a half talking. We're gonna do that today as well. But yeah, Elite went out to California for the first time. I was talking to Lance as he's been driving for 28 hours while Danny has been sleeping. And they're somewhere in Texas right now. The e-ticket competition is done, but we'll have another one going. We always have them at the races. All of that goes to supporting, subsidizing the coverage that you get from Elite RC Productions. I'll be joining them on their 13-week tour for 6 weeks. What's up, Paul? Tango League. So this was happening during SIK Cross this past weekend. They had it up there. So this one is actually for, I will let you know right now what it's for. But it's for a complete Ryan Maifield build. I do believe you get, here we go. It's a Tekno NB4 48 2.2. It's going to be built by Ryan Maifield. It comes with a Ryan Maifield ProTech engine and pipe, ProTech servos, battery, clutch, and switch, upgraded servo horns. All you got to do is just add your receiver and transponder and you're good to go. And going to be built by Maifield himself. Thank you all for the support of that. I did see that Billy Towling, Queensland had Australia had the Queensland titles this weekend, and it was a very beautiful track. My friend Justin Moore sent me some video of it, but I can't download it off of Messenger. If you can send me a link to the track, because it was a very non-Australia track, but it looked very good. But yeah, that's the prize. I do have everybody's name up here on the wheel. Let me put that up here so we could get this out of the way. I don't want you guys are all going to leave after this, but we got some RC to talk about. So let's put that up. There's the wheel of no return. I don't like that. Let's see. Nope, I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's go back to this one. The wheel of no return. I am going to shuffle them because everybody's in order right now. So let's shuffle. Good luck to everybody. And thank you for all the support. Ooh, Joe Jenkins. Congratulations, dude. Joe Jenkins is an S-Works driver, so now he's going to have a Tekno. Wow. Congratulations, buddy. Thank you for the support. If you can reach out to Lance, that would be great. And we can get that out. Thank you for the support. We greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate it. There we go. So congrats. Unfortunately, Mickey, you didn't get it, man. One day you'll get it. What's up, Will Ivy? Thank you. I saw you bought quite a few spots as well. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Mickey. You guys will win one time. Don't worry. You will win one. What's up? The Emperor of Everything, Martin Owen, is in the house. Are you going to the Worlds, Martin? I'm not sure if you are. Martin's one of those few lucky people. If you're an 80s child, he had an actual G.I. Joe USS flag. He's like one of those few lucky people that had one. But we greatly thank you for your support. Like I said, Danny and Lance are driving across Texas right now on their way to Florida for the race number 2 of 13 that they're doing for the last year or so. All right, So that was good. Thank you, everybody, for that support. We greatly appreciate it. And Martin says, I am not going to the Worlds. I really want to go to the Worlds. I keep saying that, but it's just a little bit too expensive. And I need some time home. All right. So let's go into... Oh, so I wanted to talk about the Euro B finals. Will Ivy, I am not going to Peach State this year, unfortunately. I'm actually coming a couple of weeks later, and it's going to be like a month in the USA. So had to stay home for a little bit, take some time to hang out here. Martin says, I'd rather go to the Florida Carpet Championships. I'll be there. I love that race. Weather should be good, shouldn't be too hot, and perfect weather. No Bruno there this year. No Bruno or Ronafalk, I'm told, are coming. So that's kind of sucks. But Bruno isn't doing any 10 scale this year. What's up, Gloop? How you doing? Rip It Up Films. If you guys haven't checked out Rip It Up Films, he does badass work. He's in the four-wheeler or ATV motocross world, and an RC racer. He has great pictures, great videos. Check him out. Rip It Up Films. He's got a big Instagram, big TikTok. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. I think let's get into. You know what? I'm going to show you guys something. Hold on. So non-racing. I finally finished my MT48 2.0. It is huge. I got these. These are actually, I believe, tires for those big Traxxas vehicles. I had to put 4mm hexes on it to fit. That's actually an unbreakable body. This is 4mm thick. It's solid. I got that from the Netherlands. I have one also on my other MT410, if you see it there where the beast is. And I finally got it done. Thank you to Tekno for sending it to me. I have not driven it yet. And thank you to Jimmy Woodley. I just dropped the podcast of him. He's got some sweet deals if you listen to the podcast. But he sent me Castle Creations Cobra 8. And it's big ass. Dude, Castle's motors are huge. And I jammed it in there and it just about fit. And I can't wait. I got the programming information, the programming cord for it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this works. I really just care about doing wheelies. Now that MT410 does wheelies on command. And I have a wheelie bar on it. What does Mikey Primer says? Bye diffs. Probably with these big tires on it. They are huge, big tires. I have some smaller tires as well. But that's done. I'm probably going to take that out this week, have some fun with it, and enjoy it. But we got some more stuff. I got some old videos coming out that you guys might not have seen as well. I probably at this time, they have a from the facility in Chile that I visited in 2022. You could check that out. And yeah, should be good. Do I do RC racing? I used to Capital Cow, but now I just talk about it. I do get a chance to race now and then when I go on my trips, but I wouldn't call it racing per se. I have a Tekno 2.0 E-Buggy that I race. Actually, I want to race a Nitro buggy this trip. I would like to at one of these events, or take it around for a few practice laps. It's been a while since I'm driven a Nitro buggy, so we shall see. All right, so the Euro B final happened this past weekend, and for those of you that know what the Euro B is, it's kind of like, I want to say, if you're not a professional driver, this is where you race. And some of these guys are knocking on the door of being professionals, but it's like, you have the Euro A's, which they had in Portugal, and then you have the Euro B's, which they had in Gusago, Italy. I've been fortunate enough to go to this track. And it was a very great finish, actually, from in this race. I'm going to try and bring it up. I should have had all this planned out. But the Italians covered it, so it's a lot in Italian. I think Renault Savoia was doing some... he was doing the English commentary for it. But it came down between Hugo Tavernon, who's a French driver, and a young driver from the UK named Erik Likke, who drives for Nemo. I don't know what Hugo drives. Somebody in her should know. He might drive S-Works. I think he drives S-Works. Yes, because I saw him at the Worlds, and he drives S-Works, I do believe. But it came down to the last lap, and it was good. It was really good. Let me turn that on. And I think Likke left the door open, and Tavernon just took it from him. And I'm sure people weren't happy about it, but I thought it was fair when I looked at it. And then a buddy of mine sent me a picture of it, and I'll see if I can bring the picture up as well. But I thought it was fair. It was a good race for these guys. Let's see. I think this is the last few laps. I'll bring it up here. The video is not the greatest. So, okay, Tavernon won Mugen. Thank you. I do apologize. Knew somebody would tune in and let me know. The all-watching eye of the internet. What's up, Feelong? Is this little bump or big bump? Congratulations on winning Truggy this past weekend at SIK Cross. But Tavernon drives a Mugen. And he is not a professional driver, but he's a very good driver. He doesn't do this for a living. And that's pretty much what the Euro Bs is about. So we got 47 seconds left to go. Let's see. Let's watch this. And you guys can be the judge of this. So the Italians right now are going raw. All you hear is Mamma Mia and all this type of stuff. If you can hear it, you have a crowd. This is a beautiful track. They have beer on tap as well. Very cold all day long. They have Italian toilets where you have to cop a squat and everything comes out like that. You see RC Project was a big sponsor of this. This track's also very close to the Reds factory. There's Likke or Likke. He's in that yellow and blue car. Him and his brother, the whole family races. I met them at RCGP a few years ago. Very nice family. That's the finish line. And there's Tavernon right behind him. And he is pushing. And Tavernon, I think, had to come from the LCQ, if I'm not mistaken. And he is absolutely pushing. And he makes a pass like right here. There we go. We're pausing it. And then he gets in there. He still doesn't get crossing, but he gets across him right there. And then he comes across for the victory. And just basically snatches victory away from young Erik Likke and becomes the Euro B champion, which is actually a pretty big deal. Let's go back and watch this pass again. And let me know what you guys think. Ooh, that's pretty close right there. That's big bump. That is pretty close right there. You gotta go for it. I mean, let's play it again. Let's see. Can I slow it down? Let me slow it down. Let's go very slow. And go back 5 seconds. So they come up over the bridge. Best bridges in RC. Ooh, he does have his, so he actually did use him as a berm, but he has to go for it. Now, oops, sorry, got stuff coming up. Now, did he get past Likke in that sense? No, but he definitely messed him up enough where he was kerfuffulated. And he doesn't crash. He just gets a little bit wonky. Gets out of the line. They both get wonky coming out of the line, but Tavernon is able to jump. He cases the jump, and Likke just goes wide, gets out in the fluff, and is not able to get the traction. And Tavernon, takes the pass. I think that's fair. I think you have to go for that. I think if you don't go for that, you're not an RC racer. I would do that. I would do that to somebody. You have to. He hit him, but he didn't pass him. And then even like he had enough pace to get up over the double, he just went wide. And I think they will not have. The referees called it fair, and Tavernon was crowned the Euro B champion. So well done to Hugo Tavernon. Unfortunate for young Erik Likke, but I mean, that's the last lap, last couple of corners. Of course, you got to go for it. Did they crash? No, I don't. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I don't know what you guys think in chat. Some of you will have your opinions, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. I think you have to, like, they didn't crash each other out. And even at the end, if you can see, Tavernon was actually loose coming out of the corner. He cased the jump, and which actually helped him, because if he'd have skied it, he would have ended out in the fluff. Then they probably would have crashed out there. So unfortunate for Likke. You got to keep it tight, man. It's not over till it's over. Great comeback for Tavernon. I think he started 10th or something like that. He was way down the line. So good race, good racing, good racing, good racing. SIK Cross. So let's go look at some of the results from SIK Cross. Actually, let me bring up that's where you were this past weekend. John, you and Fee, maybe you could tune in the chat. How did you like it? They had gate starts. I know you guys want Truggy. We're going to look at Buggy. They had heads up racing for everything, qualifying. I'm not quite sure how it worked. I didn't talk to Lance about it, but we got, oh, good. Look at that. That is perfect. I actually put that perfectly on A1 of Pro Nitro Truggy. So we'll watch this. So they're actually, John, you're right there. Let's watch a gate start in Truggy. I did not watch any of the Truggy racing on Sunday. I completely zoned out of RC on Sunday. So there we go. And let's hit play. So people getting ready. So they had 3 different gates. They didn't have enough Truggies to do it this time. But 3 different gates. I will say this. I think the gates need to have something where the cars are suspended. Okay, that's not bad. That's a lot of Truggy coming through there. Very clean. Is that Lutz out front? Yep. This track is amazing. It would have been very hard for me, but it's Thunder Alley, and it just has a very unique way to build track because it's built into a bank. And Levi Jackson built some great tracks. So Levi used to do this back in the day. He put his SIK Cross events on. I remember reading about them in the magazine, seeing YouTube videos about them way back in the day. And so they had 3 30-lap races. So I'm guessing 30 laps equaled how much time, John? He says, no dull moment, a lot of track time. Oh, yeah, I could bet. I bet they did. It was a long race. It started Thursday. Ooh, it's a RC car. Hello, sir. How are you? We got Kakalappin in there. This was a badass track. There's Bump. He's out front with his Bruce Lee style haircut now. It's like he looks like almost like Bruce Lee Fei Long from Street Fighter. I have an action figure like that. This is a badass track. I would have done 1,000 barrel rolls and crashes on this before I even could do a clean lap. But I like Thunder Alley. And Thunder Alley is a very unique track. When I was there, you have to keep it wet or it gets super abrasive and wears out chassis and wears out tires very fast. Well, it's not Thunder Alley anymore. It's the Drake Raceway. Sorry, I do apologize. I'm just used to calling it Thunder Alley. But there's Ryan Lutz out front and then Little Bump. I don't know what happened in A1, but I know that he won the overall. So they had 30-lap races, not times. I was talking to Lance a little bit. People seem to be very happy with the format and how it happened and how it went along. So good stuff, man. Good to see something different. Like I said, I love the gate starts. I know there is now a lot of people say there should be gate starts all the time. I don't think gate starts are viable for some of these really, really big races because it takes a lot of time. And I mean, some of these races you have to have 18 cars, and some people like gates, some people don't like gates. I think the way they did the gates with 3 different gates converging onto one area was excellent. I thought it made for great. So that was good. Let's go over some of the results here. Actually, I want to bring up another video of dude, the Elite RC Productions YouTube page is almost at 10,000 subs. I am so stoked about that. Let's bring up some of the buggy mains. Let's see if I'm good enough to get it on there. So Ryan Maifield didn't participate in the Truggy race. Let's we got some comments here. It's an RC car. So great here in South UK. Great day out with 1/5 yesterday with London and various crews from South. Was that 1/5 on-road or off-road racing? Billy Darlin says both Fee and Ryan are both fantastic and pretty dominant in Kyosho's other than a couple of unfortunate incidents. Yes. The MP11 looks exceptional. Exceptionally well. I have to, and that is, trust me, that comment takes a lot for me to say. I'm trying to find A1 of this intermediate buggy. Okay, so did they run? Okay, so it seems like they ran all the races one after the other. I could be mistaken. Well, let's watch A1 or Pro Nitro buggy. So how much time did it end up being with 30 laps, John? No, Lance was doing the interviews. I missed that. Let's bring this up. I think it's good. I like having different formats. I like having heads up racing. It's good for RC. It's good for spectator. I like that we're racing right from the get-go. Is that? I saw my good friend Skilla Joel made the trip out there. He won E-Buggy, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how it all worked out. Huh? I'm confused here. Okay, never mind. I'm not confused. It don't take much to confuse me. 15 minutes. Okay. Mickey Primo. What's up, Roach? How you doing? Congratulations on you getting 10K subs as well. Let's fast forward a little bit and get to some gate starts. How did I got to ask Lance how the qualifying worked. I know it was heads up racing, and I guess it was best few races out of. Wow, I didn't realize that Frankie Contreras held his radio like that. Pretty interesting. So there's Drake, Contreras, Maifield, Spencer Hackett, Fishback, Ryan Lutz. Man, is Drake standing on something, or is he almost as tall as Ryan Lutz? He doesn't seem that tall. All right, so let's watch this gate start. I love the countdown clock. That's awesome. Ooh, that's a lot of call. Ooh, kerfuffleage. I like the kerfuffle. Dude, this is sick. This jumping away quad. I was watching Maifield and Fenster in their qualifying race. They were going at it. It was awesome. I like seeing stuff like this. I love this area, man. If you are ever in California, put this on your bucket list to go to this racetrack. It's all good, Mickey. We all have our preferences. This is a sweet track. Has been for many years. I'm glad the Drakes were able to salvage it, and we almost lost this. So I don't know what the plans are, if we're going to see any more SIK Cross races, but I love it. And I like the gate starts. I like the 3 separate gates. And I think people, like John said, lots of good time. Lefty, are you in Bermuda or the Dominican? I am in the Dominican Republic, my friend. So well done. Good to have something different in RC, right? We did my last time at Thunder Alley, or this facility, was at the RCGP race, which went off really good, which was heads up racing as well with gate starts, but they had a different gate. They had like prongs where you put the cars on. Yeah, one gate with 6 cars in the front and one gate back with 6 cars in the back. And they dropped at the same time. It was good too. I like seeing big races at permanent tracks. Yeah, they had DNC here back in 2021, I want to say. I think it was. Which was fun. And to be fair, it looks big on screen, but this is not a very big track. Like the surrounding area, the driver's stand only holds 12, 13 people, I think, maybe 14 at the most. And then a lot of people have to pit up on the field there. It's in a park. You have, I think during the other day, they had people playing tennis over the tennis courts. You have people up there playing football, playing soccer, all that type of stuff. So it is not just for RC car racing. It is actually in a public park. So I thought it was a good weekend. Good to see some different racing. Let's go over some of the results in the triple. So we got, let's go through SIK Cross. So they did have buggy one day and then truggy the next day. So let's go to intermediate E-Buggy. We had Joe Rodriguez. Shout out to him. Trevor Earlis, Nick Watlett, Wally Bills. You got to have him back on. Zach Rogers. Good to see him back racing. Drew Zeller, Mario Rudy, Adrian Ramos, Josh Mitchell, Joey Avellino, and Peyton Hathcott. We also had another race I'm going to talk about here. Pro E-Buggy, we had Ryan Maifield, Fee Long Win, Tyler Fenster, Ryan Lutz, Frankie Contreras, Fishback, Carlos Arredondo, Jermaine Robinson, Adam Drake, Travis Horn, Westergaard, and Sean Kirkman. Then Pro Nitro Buggy, we have Maifield taking the win. He had a 2, a 1, and a 1. Jimmy Fishback with a 5, 4, and a 6. Fee Long with a 1, 13th, and a 2nd. So Fee had not a very good second run. But how does that? How did a 1 and a 2 not beat out a 5, 4, and a? Did they add all 3 finals together? That would explain it. So Fishback had a 9 and a 2. Okay. So they must have added no throwouts. There you go, Mike Armani. Okay, that would be it. So all three races counted. No problem. Hello, Clay Keats. You guys attended this race too, you and your daughter, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so no throwouts. So every race counts. Interesting stuff there. What's up, Colton Tilly? Some of the best barbecue I've ever had. Good job. Loved it. Hope you're good, man. Hope to see you again at some point. Pretty cool. SIK Cross. Hopefully we'll see that at some more events. I'm hearing some rumblings about some things. I can't talk about it right now because it's still all early. I haven't heard some silly season news, but I can't talk about that either. So I gotta hurl off. I got some news coming up for you guys here eventually. Remember the other day? Oh, I have to go through some more results. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Let's go. Sportsman E-Buggy. We had Scott Sexton, Garrett Dixis, Paul Thacker, Dax Cox, Goggles Paisano. Let's go to Sportsman Nitro Buggy. We had Garrett Discus, Paul Thacker, Dax Cox is a young racer. Very congratulations to him. Eric DeAndro, Scott Sexton, Michael Callis. I saw a lot of noise about people complaining about Paul Thacker running Sportsman. He didn't win. They had a Super Bowl too. Nice. That's cool. I like that. I gotta sit down and talk to Lance and find out I haven't talked to him, so I don't know how the format went, but I like it. SIK Cross Truggy, we had Dylan Peterson, Joel Rodriguez, Trevor Olins, Adrian Palais, Joey Avellino, Ryder Anton Maro Rudy, Sean Hornberger, Padden Hathcott, Nano Vanderlyn, Gregory Taylor, Chase Adholm, and Ryan Reese. Dylan killed it. He went 1-1-1. Wow. Very good. And then Pro Nitro Truggy, we had Fee. Fee went 1-4-2. Tyler Fencer went 3-1-3. Ryan Lutz went 6-2-1. Adam Drake, Spinrad, Travis Horn. And Sportsman Nitro Truggy, Paul Thacker won this, followed by Mark Robinson, Robert Kakala, doing some 8-scale racing. Is a 5th-scale guy. Tyler Unye, Jonathan Vandermolen, Trent McLaren, Michael Callis, Brian DeSalantis, Christopher Gutierrez, Jeff Burgos, Seth Dale, and Justin Pennigan. So that's great. I like having a little bit of a change from the regular format, and that was good. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Elite Productions video coverage is what we need in RC. Thank you. We can't do it without you guys' support. So thank you very much. And I'll be joining the team here very shortly. I mean, you know, my running, me just talking all day. I enjoy our trips. Trust me. Lefty can quit Sally season anytime he just doesn't want to. Yeah, I can. Ooh, yesterday was insane. The 96cc had a mega crash right out of the blocks, literally drove onto the racing line without looking and got a $300 carbon fiber chassis crushed at front. Wow. That's a lot of money going on in here. 96cc in a 5th scale? What does he have? Dual? Triples? Hello, Jared Karma, how are you? Carmona, sorry. What's up, Lancy? Joe Jenkins, he won the Joseph Jenkins won the Tekno. People really enjoyed the coverage. Are you still in Texas? Is Danny going back to sleep? Danny can sleep. He can definitely sleep. All right. So on the last live, we talked about Pekko going over to that Chinese facility. Oh, a GoPed engine. Yeah, that's a lot of engine for a GoPed. I don't know if I want to drive on there. Oh, Danny Paz, I'm here. Are you really Danny Paz? Or are you asleep? I got a picture of Danny Paz asleep at. So Danny Paz has this laptop, right? And this laptop sounds like a damn jet engine when it's taken off. Ask me how I know, because it's woke me up many times at 5 o'clock in the morning in the camper. He had this thing. He was out. His muffin top was hanging out. He had the computer on his lower regions right here, and all that hot air was blowing right down his crotch area. And he was out like a light on the bed. I said, I bet you his such and such is his granules, his bolitas are going to be very hot, because the amount of heat that laptop makes, it is amazing. He was out like a light. Jared Carmona, are you going to cover the 10 scale worlds in the trailer? I am not. I wish I was. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to cover it. We're going to try and do some coverage as well. We're not going to be there, but we have people that are there. So we'll be able to talk to them and find out what's going on. And then we'll probably do some sort of shows in between then. But actually physically going there, unfortunately not. Male birth control, exactly, Mickey. Male birth control for Danny. Now, guys are hauling ass back to Florida so they could get a couple of days off before they go to Callahan this weekend for the Florida RC Championships. Then I believe they go from Florida up to Adrenaline for their race in Virginia. I don't know then it will be Peach State. Then it's something in between Peach State that they have. It might be Oklahoma. Now I need to look into tickets. That's what I need to do. I have looked into tickets. We just need to figure out where I'm going to fly into. All right. So the other day I mentioned this. Any thoughts on the slightly underwhelming attendance of the GT Worlds, especially in the electric class, which I find curious? Actually, great point, Kakalappin. So I was talking to Oseen about this because he's going on to cover it, Red RC. And all the Europeans pulled out. It's a shame, right? It is an excellent facility. I actually have a video of the facility up on my YouTube. It's getting re-released again. Well, it's going to be shared to Facebook here shortly, but if you want to go check it out, I'll bring up the link here and I'll post it. But it's an absolutely beautiful facility in Chile. They actually have one of the most beautiful on-road courses I've ever seen. They have 2 dirt tracks. It's more catering to aviation. It has people rolling out $25,000 jets. They have containers where people keep all their stuff, air-conditioned containers. They have a clubhouse. They have a boat, a sailboat pond. They have a go-kart track. They have various different runways for RC aviation. It is a beautiful facility. Unfortunately, it's kind of out. It's about 45 minutes away from the actual city of Santiago, Chile, which isn't too bad, but I just think cost is the big deal, right? Cost getting down there. That's the YouTube link. I don't know if it's going to work in there, but that's the YouTube link to that facility walkabout that I've done. It's unfortunate. I think they should have done it. And then they're having the GT World, which is the rubber tired, excuse me, I just burped in you guys. Rubber tired, 8 scale based on-road cars. And then in November, they're having the GP, which is the ones like that Dario Bastrelli, that Ballastri runs and wins, and all those that the Natos one, the really fast Formula One ones. They're having that race in November. So I think it comes down to cost, sending both teams down to the both area at both times. What's up, Weldon? How you doing, my friend? I think that's a big issue, right? So I think they had to pick which are they going to support more. I wish they could have done it where they could have both happened at the same time. Like they could have been on there for 2 weeks. They didn't need to be on there for as much time. They could be on there for 2 weeks, 1 week for this race, 1 week for the next race. That's what I think they should have done. It's hard for South America right now. This is their Latin America, because remember, we had the 2024 Worlds canceled in Brazil. We had the 2024, also the 200 millimeter Nitro Worlds canceled there. And now a very, very low turnout for the GT Worlds. And you know what? It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful area. It's cheap. It's a great facility. But I guess cost of getting there is just expensive. And timing, right? So yeah, Tony Gruber. Once I saw Tony Gruber pull out, I knew it was like all over. Yeah, from what I know, Tony Gruber is both cost and timing. 8th GP Nationals just finished yesterday for him, and he needs them to qualify. I don't know. It's unfortunate. But South America deserves to have, or Latin America, or FAMAR deserves to have their worlds too. And this is a freaking badass facility. Badass. I don't think there's a facility like this in the world, except the next one that I'm about to show, which is in China, which I'm pretty sure will be well attended. All right, let's bring this up. So I talked about this on Saturday because Pekko was there and he showed me a video. He sent me a video of the on-road track and he's like, Lefty, you need to come to this track, to the Touring Car Worlds, right? It's going to be held at I'm going to read this to you guys. So this is Red RC. Good friend. I became good friends with Oshin, and it was Oshin and Jason were there who was doing the pictures for him. So the 2026 ISTC World Track, I can't pronounce that, Hongyu GDC opens in China. So this track was not existing earlier this year when IFMAR officially announced that China would hold the Worlds as the host venue for 2026 112 scale and Touring Car World Championships. The brand new Hongyu GDC facility has officially opened ahead of hosting its first ever race this weekend under the leadership of Gavin Kwok, who created the previous GDC indoor track located in the same city. The new facility dwarfs its predecessor and comprises of 3 impressive tracks. The main outdoor asphalt track, on which the 2026 ISTC World title will be decided next April, covers an area of 80 meters by 43 meters. While a second covered track, on which the 12 scale world champion will be decided, measures 42 by 23. Off-road is also catered to with a 50 by 26 meter dirt track. So that's actually not bad. It's 150 feet by 75 feet, 80 feet deep. The track was built by Spanish. That's why Miguelo went to China the other day. Okay. Who created the recent E-Buggy World Championships track in Barcelos. The Hongyu GDC International Science Education and Motorsport Center, to give its full title, is one of the world's largest dedicated RC facilities. The state-of-the-art complete features comprehensive amenities, including a multi-function hall, a professional RC hobby shop, public pit area, with a capacity of 120 competitors, 15 private pit rooms, race control, media rooms, a crawler course, experience zone, dedicated vehicle cleaning stations. Later this year, many of the world's top on-road racers will get to see and experience the track for the first time, and it hosts the Asian Championships and World's warm-up race. The 12 scale runs from December 5th to 7th, touring car from December 12th to 14th. So here's some pictures. I can't really zoom in on the pictures, but you guys can see them here. And it is up. No, that's wrong picture. Look at that. Look at this place. Look at this place. I like. The track is very close to the hotels and stuff. Look, a big screen. That's amazing. Here's the indoor track. Is that asphalt or carpet? I can't tell. Here's the indoor on-road track. Here's the indoor off-road track. This is, I guess, pit area right here. Hobby shop with simulators. Oh, look at this crawler course. That is badass. Pit areas. Oh my goodness. This is another like crawling course right here. Outdoor crawling course. What a beautiful facility. Oh yeah, I know where I'm going next April. I'm going to China. Absolutely going to China. Beautiful facility. I want to go there bad. Little bump. John says, amazing facility. We'll be there soon. I'm sure you will. What are you guys going to go there for, John? If you go, when you go, I want to go. I want to go to the Worlds next year. That's my goal. I've never even seen touring cargo, but I want to go to the Worlds next year. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you guys think about that facility? It looks badass. Go check it out. Red RC. Actually, let me put the link up in here to it so you guys can go check it out for yourself. Are you going to do touring car or are you going to just do the off-road stuff? I don't know what they're having on. What's up, Blue Tech? How are you? That is a beautiful facility. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, keeping to Red RC. Pekko went there this weekend and he won. Sorry, he came third. So well done to Pekko. He's having a blast there. It was, oh, that's the dude from, I met him at the 12 scale Worlds. Oh, I can't remember his name. Hayato Ishioka. I'm sorry. Let's see. Very nice. Very nice. I want to go to China. Oh, man. Definitely want to go to China next year. Can't wait. Can't wait. That's the girl. Hello, Mr. Ben Mohammed. How are you, my friend? Good to meet you and Noah this past at the E-Buggy Worlds. Vicky Premiers, how about Chad Bradley got Hong Nor back at Amy again with the new XP? I did see that. I did see he is running the new Hong Nor at Amy, which we're going to talk about Amy here in a bit. Another race I wanted to talk about really quickly, which happened. I didn't even know the history of this race, but I'll bring it up. It was the former Kyosho challenge that we knew from way back in the day, but it's now the ProTech challenge. So my friend Wes Marvel actually sent me this excellent blog that he wrote for it. And he did a vlog and he did a blog for it as well. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit. This happened this past, I think this happened this past September 5th to 7th. So it happened this past weekend. No, weekend before. So it happened at St. Louis Dirt Burners. It's a nonprofit club organization founded in 1994. Dirt Burners is one of the oldest tracks in the USA. World-class facility offers many benefits for out-of-town racers such as RV and trailer accommodations. You can read the whole blog. I'll post a link for that in this as well. The ProTech RC Midwest Challenge was initially created in 2002 and at the time was called the Kyosho Nitro Challenge. Now that's what I remember it as, seen it in the magazines. St. Louis Dirt Runners has continued the tradition for an annual race for 20 years, also known as the Futaba OS Challenge. I remember that as well. For many years, selling out with over 450 entries. It's held many Raw and National F1 World Champions have made the pilgrimage to Dirt Runners over the years for this event. At times, up to 6 world champions have been in attendance. In 2022, St. Louis Dirt Runners partnered with A-Main Hobbits to take the historical race to the next level, appointing the new title ProTech RC Midwest Challenge. So this year they had a good turnout. I really like the 2025 shirts. They look great. Who remembers back in the day when you got track race shirts? That was awesome, right? So it's good to see that that continuing. High Tech ProTech sent some gear. High Tech Hobby Wing sent some gear. Mayako, there's my good friend Tony Scarcello, Brandon Weekly. I don't know this gentleman, but they're all Mayako racers. High Tech sent some gear as well to give out. Here's a picture of the track. I think this is like Jarrett Tebow's home track as well. I know his son was racing her, and his son Nash is taken to racing quite well now. Also, a blast from the past, Josh Wheeler, who I think is probably one of the most talented racers ever to race RC cars. And he has a very interesting story. And if you want to hear about it, we have a podcast with him. Basically, he, at the age of 14, he was diagnosed with like incurable cancer. And he was not given like 6 months to live. And basically his father like went on to Mexico, and he's in his 30s, 40s now, and still alive. And at one point he was probably the fastest RC racer out there in the world. He got to race again. I have a whole podcast. I think it's show 101 on here. I'll bring that up as well. I'm actually going to rehash it. I'm going to rehash it and just bring it as a standalone interview as well. So this race happened this past weekend. My good friends from trackside went on. You can see it was like an old school track. It got a little bit. This is kind of how it got at the E-Buggy world. These type of bumps right here. They have a pie chart. HB was a popular car. Their most popular car was Tekno, TLR, X-Ray, Mayako, Kyosho. They spelled Kyosho wrong. Other S-Works associated Mugen. This is a great blog. You can go read it. So in E-Buggy, it was Austin Jeffries, who used to live in Texas. He was very fast as well. He's good racing. My good friend, the Mullet Prince, Larry Wright the fourth. He came second. Nate Jascott's Drew Ruben King and Connor Johnson. Then you see Expert Nitro Buggy. This is where Josh Wheeler, and this was Josh Wheeler. So Jared won, Josh Wheeler second. He took TQ third, sorry. And Austin Jeffries took second. Malcolm Townsend, that's my good buddy Nigel Townsend's son. This was open 8-scale Nitro truck. Brad Meyer and Josh Dill. And LW4 took Expert E-Truggy. He is definitely a very good E-Truggy. Charles Day, Chad Ruben King didn't show up for the pictures. Oh, 40 plus 8-scale Nitro Buggy was Josh Wheeler. He won or took TQ. I'm not sure. But we had Bucky Backman from up trackside up in Wisconsin making a trip down. He came third. Troy Weber, Josh Dill. So very good blog. Good 40 plus 8-scale E-Buggy. Bucky won Sportsman 8-scale Nitro Truggy. My good friend, the gingerbread man, Kyle Kosick, came in second. Good job, Kyle. Jeremy Strong. So good event, good blog. And he actually has a very good vlog as well up on YouTube about all of that. Scott Bordone, see you in AZ next month. Absolutely. Kevin Mendez, what's up, Lefty? Enjoying this live. What's up, Fee Long? Man, you're amazing. Every year, it's what Lefty said. Let the kid grow. And boy, have you. Can't wait to see you race again. Great job, Ryan Lots. Peace. Good stuff. Get better soon, Kevin. Kevin had an accident on his job, and he has been at home ever since that. So I hope he gets well soon and gets back out there. What once popular class are you surprised fell off? Short course truck. I talk about that with my friend Jimmy Woodley on the last podcast. And I would say gas truck, but that was always going to fall off once Truggy came on. Mickey Primo, be right back. Got to beat up my mailman for delivering my aiming package to somebody else Saturday. Good luck with that. Actually, let me check. I'm surprised my courier hasn't messaged me to say. All right. So, that's what it was. Here's the other thing. So I was online today and I saw that Associated is dropping another car of some sort. So I don't know what it is. Let's bring it up on the screen. And it basically says, Team Associated is reviving a champion's DNA, a new platform forged for speed and toughness and ready to roll. What's coming? What do you guys think it is? Dude, Associated is really pumping out re-releases. This is burning well into my next topic. My next topic is complete conspiracy theory and rumors, but I truly believe it's happening. What do you guys think that they're dropping? What do you think that Associated is going to drop? Barry Rowe, gas truck still alive and well at Shaw's Truck Nationals and the 10 scale showdown. Awesome. I want to race gas truck at Shaw's. If Gene Strout Jr. gets my truck done in time, I will hopefully bring it. Actually, we got to figure that out, how to get it there. That's it too. I saw Mr. 5 laps in her. What's up, Anthony D? How you doing, my friend? Got that nitro car run built yet? B2 Riri could be. Ian Kuhn says new F1 chassis. They just dropped the F1 chassis. I don't think they'll do that again. So also in the news last week, what do you think the best 8-scale E-Buggy is? Honestly, I don't think there is a best one. I think somebody asked me this the other day. I don't know. I haven't driven all of them. I think the best E-Buggy for you is what you like. I think the best E-Buggy for you is what your local track has abundance of that people can help you out. Best price, I don't know the prices. They're all about the same price, man. They're all about the same price. All about the same price. I will buy the E-Buggy that you like and that you can get the best support for at your local track. Or buy an E-Buggy or for a company that you like. Because I think they're all pretty good right now. Oh, I saw a Mike Pavine comment. Lutek, Lefty, get Mike Pavine on your podcast at the moment. He has 2,700 times Universe Champion. Ask him about the most amazing RC collection ever. I never saw this guy's comments, but apparently this Mike Pavine dude was all in the comments on a live, and Lutek just makes just pure jokes about him ever since. So yeah, I don't know who he is, but he is like the best in the world, in his world. Yeah, when somebody asks me what car they should buy, it's very hard to say because I think they're all good at this moment. What car would I buy right now? I don't know. It's hard not to say Tekno. I like the new E-Buggy. I like Mayako's new E-Buggy, and I was actually talking to some people about the E-Truggy, the plans that they have coming out, and it sounds freaking awesome the way they're going to do it. So that should be cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a better or worse one out there. I think they're all relatively good out there. I think you should focus on getting a car that you want and a company that you believe in and a company you can get parts for. And if you're worried about price, then dude, I'm going to tell you, like, this is RC racing. And if you're worried about a chassis price, that's probably going to be the least of your costs in the long run. You're going to be buying tires and oils and parts and all that type of stuff. So I have not seen the MP11E go, but I tell you what, if I was going to buy a car right now, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'd say this. I'll tell you, I've never owned a Kyosho buggy. I would probably get a Kyosho right now. Yes, Danny Paz, you're awake. Hello, Terry Brooklyn. You like my headsets? It's the same headset I've used. Oh, you used my headset at the race. Ooh, that means you got that thing working you was telling me about. Nice. Treat my headset good, Danny Paz. There you go, JWRC. Roach has a great video on how to choose. Somebody get that link and let's put it in the chat so we can see that. Yeah, I would love to try a Kyosho MP11. I'm not gonna lie. That I would love to try. It looked really good at Wicked Weekend. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm actually trying to get Derek Furentani on the podcast, but he says no. Come on, Derek. Come on the podcast. Everybody send Derek a message. Say, you need to go on the No Name RC podcast. Mickey Primo, I didn't have to beat up anybody. Good. We don't need no violence. But I know how it feels when you don't get your package. All righty then. Next bit of news. It's a little bit old, but not that old. But I'm going to feed right into conspiracy theories right here. It caused a lot of hubbub on the interwebs last week. And it was, again, by Associated, but with their longtime rival. Well, not their longtime rival, but one of the distributors, due to persistent distribution issues, specifically unauthorized price reductions and excessive inventory liquidation, eroding our brand's value, we have suspended product supplies to Horizon Hobby pending a mutually satisfactory resolution. The suspension aims to not to terminate our relationship, but to protect our products' integrity. We will continue to providing products for all our brands via leading distributor channels, ensuring customer access. We anticipate Horizon's prompt engagement to resolve these concerns. Updates forthcoming. #Team Associated. So I don't know what to think of this. Right? I'm not going to claim to be some business expert and all this type of stuff here, but it sounds like basically Horizon was selling Associated stuff or blowing Associated stuff out. I also know that the Horizon they're closing down their Ontario, California based warehouse. They're moving everything centralized to Illinois. I'm told. I think they're still keeping the Proline warehouse down there and banning. I don't know all the details on that. But I'm going to put my conspiracy theory hat on. So everybody get your tinfoil hats on, because mine's on underneath my high-tech hat. We've been talking about this for quite some time. I've heard rumors over the years. Before I get into this, also, if you guys wish to support this, you can hit that super chat button. Send us a super chat. If you got questions, we're going to do super chat questions first. We'll do questions after this. So it's been rumored for quite some years, for quite some time now, and I've heard this from quite a few sources, that A-Main wants to purchase Associated, or is planning to purchase Associated. So obviously when I saw this, I'm like, ooh, this is started. If there's one company that can probably challenge Horizon's, what can I say, RTR brand, all that they have, race brand, all that type of stuff, it's A-Main. Okay, Traxxas is going to surpass them, in my opinion. Traxxas has their own RTRs. They're probably the biggest name in RC. They ain't worried about racing. But there's been many rumors of Associated being bought by A-Main. There was even Sean Ireland, who was the CEO of Associated, now works for A-Main. A couple other employees have left Associated and gone work for A-Main. So it's kind of a lot of things pointing fingers to that, but I have not heard anything officially. Associated is putting a lot of re-releases, which I think Horizon should be doing as well. With their TLR brand, they should be doing this as well. Re-releasing these old cars, especially with the vintage craze, hyping up now with all the vintage hype. I think that this has, in my conspiracy theory head, and this is just a theory, I think that A-Main, this is in conjunction with A-Main maybe buying Associated, because Associated can now produce ready-to-run vehicles to compete against Arma with the help of A-Main. That's what I think. And that's where the money is. That's where the big money is. And then they could get into, with Associated, they could get into all the branded licensed content. You have, under Associated, you have the RTRs stuff, you have the bashing stuff, you have the element, crawling stuff, all this cool stuff that it's like turnkey competition for Horizon. My conspiracy theory brain thinks that's what it's all about, to be honest. I think this is the first salvo in a upcoming RC, I don't even know what to call it, RC bashing / ready to run guerra in Spanish. We shall see. And what I like about A-Main is that they're still racing at heart. which I like. So, and they have an impressive team. Marcy Marcus says, I'm not really into bashing. That's fine. You don't have to be. Millions of people are. And that's what pays for racing in a lot of these companies. I'm pretty sure Associated survives more of their RTR stuff than they do of racing stuff. That's why we saw Horizon making that decision to not have a professional RC team. Bashing is so much bigger. And bashing is actually the market that we as racers need to be tapping into. I had this discussion with Mark Santamaria, got a podcast coming out with him. I thoroughly believe in his theory on that, about bashing into tapping into the basher market, because they already have RC cars. Hold on, guys. I think my package is here. Hello, Manuel.
Hello, ¿usted salió?
No, estoy en la casa.
Ah, pues yo estoy aquí ya.
Okay. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. All righty. I am. Hello. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Just had to go pay for a package. I have to pay. I did flush, Danny, and I washed my hands. Take it easy. But that's my thoughts on that. I could be completely wrong. It could be completely about something else. But that's my conspiracy theory hat on my head. So there we go. $1 billion says bashing brought me to racing. Exactly. That's the whole point. You guys already have RC experience. We talk about this on Jimmy Woodley's podcast as well. Let's see. Bashing, I agree, but what needs to stop is these so-called popular RC YouTubers destroying RCs for views. And one of those even has a crap slogan and goes something like, if it makes you smile. I'm not that type of basher. Like, I don't like breaking my stuff. And it's funny because Mark and I were talking about this on our podcast too. He says, I don't like to bash my stuff, like break it. So Cackle, how many re-reads have come out, and considering the average age of most RC enthusiasts, there's got to be some market. There absolutely is a market for it. That's why I don't understand why Losi isn't doing the same thing. Billy Dowling, yes, I got a photo booth, which costs just as much to get shipped her as it cost. See, a lot of people. And I laugh at my American friends when they complain about shipping costs. Well, I pay a lot. So I get usually free shipping to Miami to my freight forwarding, but then I have to pay almost $4 a pound to get it shipped here to the DR. And if it's under $200, it comes in tax free. So, yeah, that photo booth for taking pictures was like 11 pounds. So it cost me as much as it did to buy it. So, do we bashing tool boat boot? I don't understand that. X attack. But here's the thing you guys don't understand about, somebody like Kevin Talbot. Somebody like Kevin Talbot is got such a big presence on YouTube that he, imagine if 10% of his viewers got into RC racing. What's 10% of 3 million? 30,000? My math sucks. That would make a big difference. So he could make a lot of people, he could bring a lot of eyes on RC racing. So it all matters. I agree with you, RC Marcus. I like to drive my art cars, but I will not purposely go out and break them. I don't do like that either. I don't believe in that. I want to, now if I'm going to try and do some crazy jump, okay, and it breaks, cool. But not purposely. One of my good friends, Kamikaze RC, guy's awesome. Check him out on Instagram. He does some amazing freestyle RC. Jan Disler. It was good to meet you, my friend. You and all the other Swiss guys at the electric E-Buggy routes. Capital Cow. I do not live in the USA. I live in the Dominican Republic. Igloo. My local track is owned by the city and is open to the public for free. The amount of people that come to the track with bashers or SATs like the Slash and Senton is almost as much as the racers. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. If Nitro does chlorine, what does that make RC boats? Nitro in RC boats? No, thank you. Gasoline. So much easier. I do not want to. No, don't get me wrong. Nitro boats are fast, but you need high content nitro, 40-50%, and they drink nitro. Gasoline all the way. 2-stroke. Hello, Donnie. How are you? How's little Donnie doing? He's not little no more. Big Donnie Williams. Mitch on the mic tuning in from Australia. What up, Lefty? Keen for the 10 scale off-road roads. Who are your picks? All right. I'm going to make some picks here. In two-wheel drive, Carrot, Donnelly, Orlowski. In four-wheel drive, Carrot, Orlowski, Champlin. But I can't count out Fender Rivkin in that. And I can't count out Runner Folk. So forward drive is a little harder for me to call. So he's just 12 with size 11 shoes. Donnie's only 12? Yeah, my son's growing up fast too. Hey, give us some super chats. That definitely helps us with these lives, makes things a lot smoother. If you guys like what we're doing, remember, I am going live this Thursday, 8 p.m. EST with Brock Champlin, myself, Alex Sturgeon. We're going to go live. It's all about INS. We had Aiden Horn on last week. It was a blast. And we're going to have Brock on. And I think Brock can win four-wheel drive too and two-wheel drive. I think the new Schumacher PB looks great. And he has looked good with it. It's going to be good, right? I'm just upset I'm not going to be there. Notice how you said some names that we normally don't say in the world's level races at the top races until recently. I have always been a Carp fan, Roach. And Brock has impressed me this year highly, watching him race. And Lachlan Donnelly is a favorite. Like, he is the home guy there. So I would love to see him in it. It would be awesome for RC. Awesome for Australian RC as well. All right, we're in 90 minutes. Mitch says the Schumacher looked wicked at pre-worlds. Exactly. And so did Carrot. So, we shall be. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. That's for sure. It is. There is a lot of hype around this World Championship. I think because it's probably people are thinking it's going to be the last outdoor loose dirt 10 scale worlds we see. Super chat questions. Send us a super chat. You get your question or topic if you want to talk about it. But we're going to take questions anyway. Let us know. Igloo says, I am from Spokane Valley, Hank Perry Raceway. Actually, the Hank been around for many, many years. You guys just had a Raw Regionals up there. Raw Regionals. Kevin Mendez, I just got my NNRC membership. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your support. Greatly appreciate that. You guys can become a YouTube member or a Patreon as well. It helps me out quite a lot. We greatly appreciate it. We are going to be bringing you a Worlds preview race, pre-race preview next week. And Pekko is going to be back from China. I want to get his thoughts on that China facility. And he messaged me one time, like, you need to come do NNRC content out here. I was like, well, Invisible Speed is out, pay for it. All right, you guys got any questions while we're here? I think that covers all the topics I wanted to talk about. What do you guys think about my theory on Associated and A-Main and the pricing and all that type of stuff? I know a lot of people don't agree with it. So who knows? Igloo, why is 10 scale off-road moving so far from traditional loose outdoor tracks? I think it's been past that. It's moving because and you know what? Dirt tracks themselves are going to be something rare. I'm telling you that now. Indoor dirt tracks are going to go the way of the dinosaur because of maintenance, right? And cost to do it. So I think that carpet is the future. Carpet, AstroTurf, semi-permanent tracks are the future of RC. Of 10 scale RC. And why I say that is because when I was in the UK many years ago, back in 2014, when I got back into RC, I would go to this track called Silverstone. It was in it was a veterinary school, university. And basically they used the blue AstroTurf when I was there. They kept 5 rows of AstroTurf there, and they had a rostrum, or they built a rostrum or driver stand out of scaffolding, just one level high, perfect with railing, everything. Stairs that went up, stairs that went down. It wasn't very tall. So on a Tuesday night, we'd go there for a club race, and we would roll out for a club race. We'd roll out 4 rows of AstroTurf, right? You save that 5th row, or I can't remember how many rows it was. It might have been 3 and 4, whatever. So that's how wide the track, how deep the track would be. And then they had fire hose with like gravel or sand in it. And that was your track boundaries. They made a different track layout, stuck it on with duct tape. And then they had jumps and obstacles made out of 1/4-inch ply, very light. They stashed it all off. They had like a little stash spot, a storage room. They kept everything. And I tell you, in an hour, you had a different track. You had a track set up. You would do a club race, be 30, 40 people there. You would get done. You get there 6 o'clock, have a racetrack, be practicing by 7, race be done by 10. Why I think that's the future of RC is because it's traction. And the first thing people want and like in RC is traction. And carpet is easier for most people to do. It's easier. It's more sustainable. I think people think that tires, I'm not fast enough to know when tires are going on carpet, but they lasted a damn good long bit of time for me. So, and you can take carpet, you can take it and put it at inside of a mall. You can take a carpet track and put it in front of people faster. And just dirt, man, it's becoming to the point where it's not, unless you're really good at it, and there's a few places that will still have dirt tracks. They have good hobby shops and a good community of RC racers that will support it. but you're just going to see these dirt tracks, dirt permanent tracks, or permanent tracks, period, are going to be something that are going to be few and far between, because semi-permanent is the way to go. You don't have to pay much rent. You don't have to pay, you know, you can run it as we can get back to clubs where you do it as a club, right? Set up, have a different layout each time. If you're going to have a bigger race that weekend, you can set it up and leave it for the weekend. And this can be done at school halls. This can be done at church halls. This can be done anywhere. I've seen people doing this. We got all these abandoned Sears business, abandoned malls, not abandoned, but, you know, with no cheap rents and stuff like that. It's a lot that can be done. And I think that honestly is the future of it. Like a more sustainable product, sustainable for racers, sustainable for new people, sustainable for people that are running it. We have some comments here. Terry Brooklyn says, I think you're 100% right. I guess you're talking about my associated by an A-main. I'm sorry, A-main by an associated and them going up against Horizon. Yeah. Gene Crucian, the theory was that the reason that this statement was made was because I think Horizon and associated / A-main are headed to a butting of heads, because I truly believe that A-main is going to buy associated and then start producing all the vehicles that Horizon is selling as well. Mike Kaz, what's up? How are you? And the other thing about indoor tracks is you ain't got to worry about weather, right? You can still run them. You ain't got to worry about it raining. You ain't got to worry about it. We have, I've been to there's a couple of outdoor tracks in Florida. You have Coral Springs, you have Newberry. And I raced at Newberry here recently this year. And it was fun. It was sugar track. It was fun. But I love carpet. I love carpet. He says, FWIW, one of the local tracks by me, is building a new building for an indoor dirt track. Where's that to? That's great. I think if you own the building and you're going to do that, that's you can do it. But when you're renting, and think how much it costs to make a track layout when it's dirt. It's not easy. And dirt is expensive to maintain. Would Astro be a good option for a semi-permanent outdoor track to replace dirt? How is driving on Astro compared to dirt? We really don't have anything except dirt up here. I think outdoor Astro turf is completely different because it's in the weather. It's going to be out there. It's exposed to that. I have not driven outdoor Astro turf. Now, outdoor Astro turf over dirt looks good. I've seen a lot of people do that. I think in Europe, they do a lot of outdoor AstroTurf tracks for weather. And yeah, I don't know if it can be the same as being indoor, where it can be stashed. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get wet, right? Have you ever tried to pick up wet AstroTurf? It's freaking hard. I know, for an example. Henry Thomason, do you think E-Buggy is the future of 8-scale racing, or do you think they will stick with Nitro? I think that E-Buggy will be probably the biggest class, but Nitro will always still be the glory. Because, and people are going to hate me for this, I think Nitro racers will always be more hardcore than E-Buggy only racers. And my point is that if you look at, we just recently had the E-Buggy World Championships, and I think there's way more E-Buggy racers, especially in the USA. But if you look at the traction and content creation that we did compared to the 2024 Nitro Worlds, compared to the E-Buggy Worlds, if we're looking at NNRC content, we got way more views, way more comments, way more traction off of Nitro racing than we did the E-Buggy Worlds. Now, that's to say that was the first E-Buggy Worlds we ever had. I think a lot of people that are into E-Buggy newly probably didn't even know there were world championships going on, because these people are happy to go race at their local club tracks. Maybe go to a bigger race now and then, race sportsman, stuff like that. So it will definitely be bigger. It's going to get bigger. I don't know if it will outright replace Nitro and the adrenaline that you get from Nitro and pit stops and all that stuff. And I know someone is going to chime in and say, well, we can do pit stops in E-Buggy. Nobody, I don't want to see that. That takes the whole point of E-Buggy, the ease of E-Buggy out there needing a pit man. I wouldn't mind seeing longer finals. I wouldn't mind seeing a 15-minute final. But even then, when I was in Portugal at the end of the race, they're going to lower it down to 8 minutes the following years and stuff like that because of they want to go to smaller batteries. So unless they can pack more MAHs or more runtime into batteries, eventually, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Mike has the Port track is one of the most beautiful track I've ever seen on TV. That can be. It is an absolute beautiful track, beautiful facility. And I think anybody who was complaining about it being on-road with jumps, you needed to come there and check it out. It is probably one of the most challenging tracks out there. And I guarantee you, you would love driving on it. And I was listening to Robert Badier's Patreon only live here, and he was talking about how the track went from high traction to slippery to dust and poles, and it's a beautiful facility. Henry Thomason, I think the majority of races, yes, top level, maybe. I think Nitro will be like F1, where only the best of the best will run them. Good analogy. Good analogy. I think E-Buggy and E-Truggy will be the most popular classes, period. And some of those people will go to race Nitro. I think Nitro Truggy will eventually phase out, to be honest, because it's E-Truggy is going to replace it. I'm seeing Nitro Truggy get smaller and smaller at the events that I go to. And I love Nitro, but E-Truggy is awesome. Wes Marvel, semi-permanent indoor carpet for winter and outdoor tracks in warmer months are the future. Likely more AstroTurf in shorter term, but time will tell. I think the most sustainable, affordable is outdoor dirt in public parks. Absolutely. But not everybody has that dirt burners like you guys do. And don't you guys have winter as well? But definitely, I would agree with that. Semi-permanent Astro is annoying. It's shit's heavy and a bitch to move. Not when I was in, when I was at Silverstone, literally they left, so they were able to leave the rows of Astro on the side, and you just rolled them out. Boop, 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 rolled them out, rolled them back up. Not only can you have 110 scale dirt loads on off days, you can have touring car racing as well. Yes. Gene Crucian, carpet is boring in my opinion. Too sterile or something. I love changing track over time. The conditions that change, the curveballs, the car setups, all of it. To me, that's RC. I understand that. But that's not going to appeal to somebody that's getting into RC. You get it? What's going to appeal to somebody that's getting into RC is that they can actually go around the track without their car spinning out. And they can line up for a jump and take it. Roach RC says, Henry Thomaskin, do you think E-Buggy in future could become like F2 or F3 where it's the same specs for all cars, or where they'll be allowed to mod them? I think all the cars are the same, to be honest. Or I'm not sure what you mean by that, but they're pretty much the same. Robotech Nitro, exclamation marks. Yes, absolutely. Ooh, it's an RC car. It takes a real pro to keep a Nitro running well if anyone can prep electric. Yeah, Nitro is a learned skill. It is not easy. And I always tell people, you should start out with E-Buggy. With carpet, you just can't set your, you can set your carb and basically never touch again. Boring to you, but not to the average person coming in there and racing for the first time. Billy Darling, the atmosphere is with Nitro. I 100% agree. If I can say one thing I did not appreciate about the E-Buggy Worlds was there was no noise. I was sitting in the pits and I did not even know that cars were running. You couldn't see the track. I didn't even know that cars are running. And the fucking boring ass, you can't make any noise, can't cheer attitude of that. No announcing, that sucked. People like Nitro. People like I like the pit stops, the noise, the chance of flaming out, all that type of stuff. Roach, Henry Thomaskin, don't know. Maybe there will be some more rules put in place for e-buggies, but I'm not sure. Do you see spec racing becoming a thing for e-buggy, says Igloo? What will we spec? Will we run 3S batteries? Do we have spec racing for... I think it's... I don't think you can go faster in e-buggy. I don't think there's no need to go faster. Like, you don't need to put... There's no benefit from putting a bigger battery in your car right now in e-buggy. And there's no... Like, when I say that, like putting a 6S battery in there. And there's no real benefit from having a faster motor. The cars are going as fast as they can go right now. I think the advantage is in how you make the cars handle. And that's why we're seeing these racers go for the saddle pack shorties, because they want that battery to be down low. It handles a lot better. And they're worried about making the 10-minute finals. I think that's the route we're going to see going. Making them lighter, making them better handling cars, because e-buggy breeds really bad habits as well. Nitro, you have to carry a lot of corner speed, keep that power band up, and hit that jump. Where e-buggy, you can tiptoe through that. You can kind of tiptoe through that section, and then you can just blip that throttle over that jump, and you're good. I don't really see where spec comes into play. I mean, I know for the longest while that Felong ran a 3S system. I don't think he runs it anymore, but he ran a 3S system because it was lighter. Weldon Wade, I don't know what the pink dinosaur eating means. So we still have a few questions. Henry Thomason says, Roach RC, that's fair enough. A bit too early to figure out, considering the first Worlds only a couple of weeks ago. Kevin Spencer, Nitro truck is amazing and so fun. It is fun, but I just don't. The reason I think it's going to become less popular because it's a lot more upkeep, pitman, all that type of stuff. And e-truggy, you don't need that. E-truggy is absolutely probably the funniest thing I've ever driven. JW, I just switched to e-truggy and picked up a Nitro buggy. Good luck with all of that, man. Good luck with all of that. Matthew Armani, not being able to cheer is one of the dumbest rules. It needs to be changed. I 100% agree with you. It was extremely boring. Like, freaking, when I can hear cars braking at the end of the straightaway, like the tires gripping at the end of the straightaway, it's boring. It's boring for the viewers that are there. It's boring for, I think it startles the drivers. They don't know where they are. Like, these drivers, they're used to blaring and hearing people talk and all this type of stuff. It was dumb. It was completely stupid. It needs to be changed. Mickey Primo, people are just getting softer. All we had 20 years ago was Nitro 1/8 and everybody could tune their shit. I love electric stuff too, but I always prefer Nitro. I would say that tuning was harder back then. Tuning now is a lot easier. But e-buggy, e-truggy are great. Slashes are great entry level classes, and we cannot, and they're good. Like, we have a Worlds now, so I'm all about it. I think they could do e-truggy and e-buggy Worlds, or do e-buggy and Nitro buggy Worlds. They're there long enough. They should do them. All right, we got some more. We have any more questions? Okay, Kevin Spanier, what's your take on oiling tracks in the US now? I think it's good. I have never driven on an oil track. Pekko has. I've known people that have. My buddy in Australia, Zach Ryan, he built that track in Australia. That was, I think it's good. I appreciate you too, Gene Crucian. Thank you. I get your points about carpet racing, but we have to think a little bigger than us. Also, I don't feel like wrenching anymore. That's why I like carpet. I like instant traction. Back to the what's the take on oil and tracks. I think that the oil track is good. I think that the oil track is great for everybody. I think it helps with the weather. I think it helps with keeping a track together. You have traction, tires work, tires last longer. The problem with the oil track is, which I think a lot of the Americans are going to find, is that track changes are a little bit harder because you have to let that oil permeate into the soil. So it's not like it gets hard. Not hard, it's the word, but it just imagine like that top foot or 2 feet of soil is basically oily soil. So if you do build a track, you have to build it where you can change some lanes and make it different, or where you can run it backwards and stuff like that. I think it's a good thing. It keeps on dust. I think my buddy Zach Ryan wrote a whole PDF on what tires work there, why they work there. Yeah, I'm about it. I like the glue too. The glue is good too, but it also has the same issues. And the glue, so when it does get wet, the oily track is going to get very slick, just a little bit wet. But when it does get wet, you can just when it dries, it stops raining, you can just brush that water off, and that track will dry instantly. Same with the glue. Same with the glue. Robotex, heard from a little bird that a SCT-48 prototype has been testing in SoCal. I would like to see short course truck come back. It's a fun class. It looks real. I mean, just look. On my Instagram, the biggest reel that I have, 27 million views, is a short course truck because it looks real. Now, the 8-scale short course trucks on 4S, yes, I know I'm a Nitro guy, but I'm going to get an electric one. I want an electric one. The only thing I don't want, if it's 8-scale, I don't want to use 8-scale tires. I want to have tires that look scale. That's what I want. But if they're going to make a 10-scale four-wheel drive short course truck, which they have already, I don't know. They have made that already. 8-scale, but no 8-scale tires. I like what Chase did when he first built his short course truck, which was have these 7-scale tires on there. I like it. Marcus Ramu, long-time Nitro guy here. Hardest part is having a pit guy unless you bring your own guy. Exactly. So if you start doing pits for electric, you're going to need that as well. Igloo, has RC racing in previous years had more atmosphere with cheering during the races and whatnot? Just started watching races recently. I'm not familiar with historic races. I think so. I know, like in America, you can cheer for races, and at big races, people cheer and all that type of stuff. At IFMAR electric races, you can't cheer. Now, during Nitro racing, I think because there's so much noise going on, it isn't a big difference. But they're also not announcing the races. They referee races. You don't have an announcer like you do in the USA or at some of these other races announcing the race per se. But I think that's wrong. I think they should be doing that, and they can have a referee doing things as well. There was a Penn State track that oiled the track and it went very well. Penn State as in Pennsylvania State. I'm not hating on anything, just saying if people stop running or buying vehicles, they will go away. Mickey Primo, I will say this. I can absolutely punish my Nitro shit all day long, back to back, tank out the tank. My electric shit will absolutely burn to the effing ground if I were to do that. Charlie Mack, the Trugoner, generally just want to keep dust on. I'll take zero grip over a dust storm. But if it rains, you have zero grip. Roach RC says there are 2 barriers to oil tracks in the USA: the EPA and landlords not wanting to allow oil dirt. I would do it on. I could see it done on. If you have private land, I would do that. And this is natural oil. We're talking about cooking oil, used cooking oil. Robotech, I have no idea what you could be possibly referring to. ... You know everything, Matthew Armani. Jean Crucian. Am I saying your name right? Crucian? I like that name. 100% understand your point. And yes, Robotech, you can 100% bounce off each other with short course racing. It looks awesome. Like, just imagine out there clashing fenders. Remember those team associated ones, man? It looks. I think one of the best videos is watching Ryan Maifield ripping one of those Nitro team associated SC8s around Revelation. Astro trucks also dry really fast, 10 to 15 minutes after rain. It starts and get even more traction than before once the rain gets washed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think it's wrong for a race director to bump someone out of the class because of their race time? Interesting topic. Because I've seen both sides of this story. I've seen people get upset and leave races when this happens. And I've seen people be happy when that person gets bumped out of there because of times. So I don't know. I think you being bumped out of a class because you're too fast should be looked as a compliment, in my opinion. You are too fast that the race director has bumped you out of there. But I also understand then people get upset about it. But at some point, you got to test yourself, right? Now, if you go up to intermediate and you keep getting hammered and all that stuff and come, I mean, it's weird, right? I have a whole spiel on sandbagging and how I think classes should be run and all that type of stuff, but I don't know. Do you want to lose racers and then that race suffers? I think it should be hard at the top end of each class, just like it is in a video game. Now, if you're consistently beating people all the time and you're still in that class, then maybe you should be bumped up. But I think it should be hard at the top of each class, because I tell you what, once you get out of intermediate and get into the C mains of the pro classes, it's fucking hard, dude. It's fucking hard. Those guys who are in an intermediate will not make an A main in pro. I guarantee you that. They'll be in a C main. They might bump up to a B main. And that's no fun for them too. It's almost like we need a semi-pro class, to be honest, in between them. But we can't have no more classes. But I think if we looked at classes like video games and each level has a boss that's really hard, I think we would get away from all this sandbagging talk and he's sponsored this way and that way. I would say this: sponsorship does not equal skill level. You can be sponsored, doesn't mean you're absolutely the fastest person out there. EPA fines start at 10K. Now, would there be so my question is, even if it's natural oil, because I will tell you this, they do it in Europe. I think that Europe is way more strict on things than the USA. We're not talking about motor oil. We're talking about natural cooking oil, recycled cooking oil. So I don't know. Ooh, somebody gave us a super chat. Donnie's dad. Actually, he brought up a good point here. We'll bring up his intermediate is hard enough depending on the race. Need a handicap or ranking system. Maybe you can elaborate more on that, Donnie, on the handicap system. Crucian Fanatic, you were nailing it. Awesome. I like that name. Okay, so we have a lot of questions here. That's thank you, Donnie's dad, for the $5 super chat. We greatly appreciate that. JW says I did 11:30 out of 12-minute main with only 6,000 MAH. private 8-scale track in NC, just water. It's off-road, big jumps with tons of flow, 200-foot straightaway, 35 gaps, like a limb. Like, that was funny. Like a link, Nick, you can't beat it. Oh my gosh. How do you feel, Igloo S, how do you feel about rules regarding necessary changes to a track prior to an event? Would there be any value in allowing a track to keep its layout like how real tracks almost change? This is a big discussion. We've had this many times. I do want a little bit of a change in a layout. I do wish that happens. I would like to see it happen. We can do it. I know it doesn't happen in on-road too much, but I think we should. I don't think it has to be a complete and total change, but definitely some change to switch it up. Let's take the 2024 Worlds. They didn't change much, but they changed it enough to be a little bit different. I wish they would have changed more, but they didn't. E-Buggy Worlds, they changed a lot compared to the track how it's been for many, many years. So I like it. I'm down for that. Charlie Mack says, Keenan, I have a fix for Sportsman 3S Lipo 1700 kV or a 19cc 20% nitro with a spec tire. If they made 19 cc's again, I guarantee you they'd be just as fast as 21s. And because guys are running those 19s back in the day when the cars were still heavy. Now these cars have got better drivetrains, they're lighter, all that stuff. We could have room for more classes of 15 effing qualifiers, triple mains instead of that. Shit is asinine, but it's good. I like the triple mains at SIK Cross this past weekend. The top 2 sportsman times at St. Louis Midwest Challenge would have made the A main in expert. Is that qualifying? West Marvel said, I'd rather have open classes and higher entry fees to compensate. Hurts turnout, unfortunately. No more debates. It's fair. It's fair. Less back-to-back heats for races, shorter race days. It's a catch-22. Do you mean just no classes whatsoever, like what we used to race? So no intermediate sportsman. Just finish where you start. Finish where you finish. I don't think we'll ever get back to that. Igloo says, Roach RC agree. Our track had a theft incident that wiped out the proceeds from Roar event they ran. The track change ended up costing the club more than the event. Dwayne Fletcher, any more traction on the 8-scale SAT? One on the bench at Full Mago Sports Motorsports Workshop. I have no idea where that is, dude. But we just talked about that. Jan says, oil's great, but works not long when hot, like ice refresh. Just open only. So no pro, no sportsman, no nothing. You could still give out awards. You can say like sportsman from this side to this side, or there to her, there to there. Should the US have more glued tracks? Would it help the US guys at Worlds and European events? Well, they don't go to Europe much. What's up, EKJ 24,000? Left side, salute to you. I think more glue tracks is good for everybody. I don't know if it has to be glued as much as, say, Barcelos is, but I think glue tracks is good for the track owners, the people that are running there, all that type of stuff. I mean, you can have a glue. I don't think it comes down to the glue track either. You have to make a track that has corner speed. That's what you guys fail to read. It's not just about the traction. It's about the corner speed. There's European tracks that have corner speed. And a lot of USA tracks, it's the best way to think of it is motocross versus supercross. Motocross tracks are faster, bigger, more corners, open. You know, supercross is jump, 180, 90, jump. It's a big difference. Fat Boy churro ice cream sandwiches are gold standard. Fight me. I don't even know what that is. I would like to try it though. Yes, the sportsman guys in qualifying had much faster track over the expert guys. Fast guys went out at the end of the round. Sportsman guys went first and had a freshly prepped track. That makes sense. As Matthew Armani says, EK Jenny 2024,000 is also about track layouts we have less high-speed corners. Also, a lot of tracks could get a lot grippier if we didn't add water. Kevin Spanner, if you did just one class, you could always give awards to top 3 ABC mains. It will basically be pro intermediate sportsman anyways. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, it's either you took the bump and you got no trophy and your prize is getting to that next main, or you took the trophy, or you also we say it was 3 bump. Those 3 will go on, and then the winner of that main, you get a first, second, third of that main. Gene Crucian says, straight qualifying times, the top guys were way too fast for sportsmen. In my opinion, if you're running times that are anywhere in the A main times in that class up, you should be bumped. It's a hard thing, dude. It's a hard thing. Why was the E-Buggy race was so competitive and now European races are not as competitive with the USA guys? So Neo race was a very unique race. And I would also, we was actually talking about this. I think we talked about this on the E-Buggy Worlds recap. Neo was a very unique race. It was a one-off build. It was on clay that Europeans had never raced on. It was more what Americans were used to. So it was more like an American track. I would also say that at that time, the Americans were faster. This was the time of Jared Tebow, Tessman. Drake was still very fast at this time. Cavallari, Mayfield. You had guys like Cole Ogden was going over there. This is when I would say USA was really a lot faster than the Europeans in 1/8 scale, especially at this type of race. They're going to have this race again next year at the same place. And I believe we're going to see a difference here. So I think we talked about this here. Like we kind of put a timeline onto it. I got to have a swig of water. 1 second. So we put a timeline on to it. We kind of figured out when the Europeans started getting faster again. We kind of took it back to 2015 when Ronafalk started really coming. Like he came over to the USA, to DNC. He was running HB. He won Truggy that year. And then it kind of started going from there. He started coming over. The Europeans started coming more and more over to America to get faster. Right? Fast forward, you go to 2016 Worlds. Ronafalk wins. Ongaro does really well. I think Tebow got second. I think Ongaro got fifth. I can't remember. But we start seeing that progression, right? 2017, last Neo race held at that Neo facility. Ongaro wins it. Middle of a wing. Fast forward, 2018, Ongaro wins the Worlds. If you go back to DNC 2018, Figueiredo, that's when we kind of had like a really big contingent of Europeans coming over. I didn't know who Figueiredo was. I didn't know who Barufalo was. Robert was there. I barely knew Robert. I knew Robert, who he was, obviously world champion, all that type of stuff, but I didn't know who he was. Didn't know him that way. Ronafalk won that year. I believe Figueiredo and Barufalo TQ'd rounds and Nitro Buggy, and people like, who the fuck are these guys? And that's when all the gyro talk really bumped up a lot. There were people wanting to take their cars and have them stripped and searched because they couldn't believe that these guys were that fast. But this is that next generation of 8 scale racers, right? The Yannick Igons and all those guys who were winning before, they're kind of going down. And this next generation is coming up. And I believe that it's like Ronafalk that kind of led the charge. I would say Boots was a part of that too, because Boots was coming over and racing at DNC a lot as well. So you fast forward, Ronafalk starts winning DNCs. Then we start seeing these guys coming over, start dominating the world championships. Ongaro's dominated every world championships in 2018 when it comes to 8 scale. And it's just the Europeans stepped it up a level. And the Americans, and then of course, Tebow barely races anymore. Tessman is now retired. Drake has been kind of retired. Not retired. He's still a very good racer, but you know, he's not on a world level like these guys. Cavallari is 1 foot out the door almost. Maifield getting older. It's taken a while for these young guys in America to get up and continuously beat these guys. The only person that's beat them continuously in America right now is Mason Fuller. Yes, Rose beat them a year ago, but he hasn't beat them again since then. Mason Fuller's beat him twice this year. So, and of course, I can't call out Dakota Fenn. Dakota Fenn is a veteran and been around a long time. He's not as old as Maifield and his guys, only 28. So he still has a very big, long career ahead of him. But that's a progression. The Europeans were getting they were not as good at those times when the Americans were winning the Neo races. They were very good. That was the time that they was very, very good and unbeatable. They were very hard to beat in all classes, 10 scale and 8 scale. And it's been a progression. And now the Europeans are a scotch ahead of them. Now it depends on track too. There will be a lot more Americans in the Thornhill race next year. But I still would not be surprised if a European wins that race. And that's just it. They did what they had to do. They came up over to the USA and got better. And they're better right now. Will they win every race that they come together? No, obviously not. But they're winning a good bit of them. It makes me laugh when people say, well, what about DNC and Silver State? They've won that. They won AMS. A lot of people put a lot of hope in Fee. I do too. I think Fee's very good, but Fee's going to have to win something here soon. He's going to be 15. He's 14 now. He's getting 15. Think of it this way. Spencer Rifkin won his first world championship at 15. Marcus Carp won his first European championship in 10 scale at 14. He's now two-time European champion and world champion. So, Fee's going to have to win a race or a big race. Nitro. Because that's the main class. It will happen. He wouldn't want to make it weekend. I for sure thought he's going to make it weekend. It's progression, right? And then these younger racers, they're going to come along. But what's happening is Europe and America have fast young racers coming along at the same time. So it's going to be a battle between them. And the guys that are fast now in Europe, Ongaro is 23. Canas is 23. They're young. Carp is 18. The Killix are 21 and 19. Ronafalk's 28. He's Boots is 30 something. He's one of the older guys, and there's the two older guys. Batty is 35, isn't it? He's on his way out. So, while that's the thing, like Europe has bred or has created very fast racers at various different age levels, and they're stepping up and they're winning. Look at Canas and those guys, you know. Ongaro. So it's going to take some time. Should they go over and race some more? Absolutely, they should. But it's hard. I don't think Maifield can go over there and race, spend 2 weeks and just go race. He has a family. Nor do I think Fenn could, but somebody like Mason Fuller could. Somebody like Brandon Rose could. But then again, they have to be able to go to races where they can make money. That's the catch-22 and everything, right? They got to go to these races to make money. I like Fee, but you're going to need more than Fee. You're going to need other guys coming up. Who's after Fee? Who's next after Fee that everybody's putting their hope in to be the great American hope? That's the question I ask. I could name off about 5 different Europeans that I think can be very fast in a few years' time. I can't name off. I was having this conversation the other day. I was like, name me 5 fast under 16 possible Americans that can win. And it's very hard because I think Europe does a better job of organizing their races and having organization and having a federation and treating RC like an actual sport compared to what we do in America. Like, I've told this story before where they have like end of year banquets for various different sports and stuff like that. And Max has won it. Pekko has won it. And it's not just in Norway. They do it in all these other countries as well. So RC is right there along with all the other motorsports and sports getting awards with them. We don't do that in the USA. But Fee is definitely good, but we need more. Who's after Fee? Who's coming up behind Fee? Charlie Mack, Keenan, how would you feel about a committee putting in a bid to host a national worlds level event at a venue that puts RC in front of people? I think it will be great, but who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for that? It would have to be somebody who really wants to do it, who has money to spare, and isn't worried about losing money on that race. That's what it takes. Because you can't have a national event. You too, Donnie. Thanks for tuning in. Good. I guess you guys are going to peach it. I won't see you guys there. Have fun. Keep up the good work. I'll see you guys at the next race, hopefully, that I'm at. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Tell Donnie I said hello. Elon Musk, says Billy Darling. I wish he would get into RC. It would be great. Or the owner of Amazon, Bezos. Wow, wouldn't it be great if they got into Amazon, into RC? See you at AMS, my friend. So that race that you're talking about, Charlie Mack, has to go in knowing that they're going to lose money. They're going to lose money at that. Full Mago Motorsports is Mark Johnson team that I'm a part of. Oh, that's right. You're in New Zealand. Say hello to Mark Johnston. And have a frosty beverage with me. Is he still doing RC? Because I know he got into a Mayako SCT. Oh, now you're going to have to send me some pictures, Dwayne. I didn't realize Mark was still doing RC. I thought he was all into mountain biking. I played a lot of every week. Hashtag retirement plan. Yeah, that's what it's going to take, though. Seriously, Charlie. Somebody to put on the race, spend all that money, and know that they're not going to make any money on it. They're going to lose money at it. Because Raw does not have the money to do that. Kapalak says, if I ever win the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs. Like a world-class archery facility in my city, for example. But here's the thing, right, Charlie Mack? It will be great to get it in front of people. It would be great to get it in front of a crowd, right? It's also going to take the right person or group of people to promote that race to get asses in seats, right? And I don't think you can charge for that. You can act. So one of the greatest things that I ever remember hearing was Rick McCreary. I've said this before. If you go listen to that show that I did with him, he is the owner of the top 25 ranking system. And he says that they did the Manufacturers Cup 2008. If you go look that up on YouTube, you'll see that this is the only RC race where I've seen there were spectators. There was a stadium. There was 3,000 people in the crowd. They did a lot of promotion. They did radio promotion. They went to local companies. They gave away dirt bikes. I think Sportsman won a free year-long sponsorship with Team Losi, whoever won Sportsman. Ryan Maifield won it one year. He won a motocross bike. I think True won a bike. Stuff like they made it really big. They were shooting T-shirts into the crowd. They had an MC just for the crowd. So they had a race announcer just for the crowd, hyping them up. They went on the radio, gave away tickets for free. It's a lot involved, right? You have to go out there, treat it big, act like this is great, have these guys. And then they made a track that was simple. It made a track. The biggest jump was in front of the crowds. It was simple, you know, because we don't want, and then, but the problem with that race was it was not sustainable, right? It was not sustainable. It was good to do, but it just wasn't sustainable. But it's a lot more. You have to get, if you're going to do a national event where we get it in front of people, we have to get the people there. Then we have to have a production that gets it out to the rest of the world, because that's where the real money comes in. And that's where the real exposure comes in. So then that race has to be built around the production, and the production has to be connected to the crowd. You would have to do it just like you do motocross or any of these other sports. So then you have to bring in all the people to do that. And it can't be just 2 or 3 people doing it. It has to be a production team. There has to be a PR team. There has to be a race announcer. There has to be somebody organizing all that stuff. There has to be an MC. There has to be autograph signings and drivers there in uniforms looking professional with pictures and of their cars and posing with people. And, you know, we have to treat it like it's big. If we're not going to treat it like that, then what the fuck is the sense doing it? That was my biggest gripe with the Visions race. I wasn't there. I don't know. But it needed pizzazz. We should have had guys up there signing autographs. Like, we should have been able to put on a show in front of people. We should have been a part of that. But we shouldn't have guys in shorts and straw hats that look like just average Joe guys. We should have uniforms. People should look professional. That's my thoughts on that. Where is the Mayako Truggy EKJ 24,000 promising? I don't know. You have to take that up with EKJ 24,000. That's my thoughts. And I'm not talking smack about the Visions race. I'm just saying it needed pizzazz. It needs to be entertaining. Gate starts would be good, right? Because people would just go crazy. Wow, look at that. We'd have to have gate starts. We'd have to have, when these guys are getting interviewed, the whole crowd would have to hear them, right? Like, have a screen where you can see that person getting interviewed, stuff like that. He would have to, you can't be in a t-shirt and fucking plaid shorts. Like, he's got to have a hat on, and he's got to have a button-up shirt, and he's got to have, you know, all his sponsors on there, and he's got to, whatever sponsor sponsoring that event, it's got to be on there. That's what, if we start thinking like that, then great. Treat it big. The issue is all of that costs money. Igloo, has a Nitro or E-Buggy World Championship ever been run sort of like F1 goes to multiple venues and competes over the course of 20 weekends? No. Well, I'm lying. There was one World Championship. It happened for 2 years. It was called RCGP. It was Nitro Buggy. You can check them out, their YouTube channel, RCGP. They even made a docu-series about the first. A docu-series that, in my opinion, could be in Netflix about the first series. RCGP YouTube. Check them out. I remember seeing event footage look killer. The US has 2 of the best RC dirt entertainment crews of all RC, at least 2 elite live broadcast teams. Yeah, you would need a lot of people. Dark Concepts. How about a YouTube influencer 8-scale off-road race? Look what Cletus McFarlane has done. Absolutely. Fuck. Do you know, I was getting so excited when I went to the Armageddon event, and I was hoping to meet Cletus McFarlane. Never did. But how cool would that be? All right. To get somebody like Cletus racing at one of these races. Or other guys. I think that would be cool. I don't think you're the first one to think of this, though, Wes, because we talked about this one time. Maybe not a race, but we said what celebrities would be cool and what races would they go to? Like we said, Travis Pastrana would go to DNC. He'd fit right in at DNC. And then Lewis Hamilton would fit in at a Worlds. But it would be good. But that'll cost money because them guys ain't free either. Because you can bet your boots that Kurt Busch is not going to race the vintage race for free. And if you're going to pay somebody to be at that race, they need to promote it a lot more with him, in my opinion. Those guys don't do nothing for free. there is a vintage race happening with Kurt Busch, but he doesn't race NASCAR anymore. Now he's been racing, but you can bet your boots he's not doing the vintage race for free. Costs money. But definitely some more exposure like that. We're missing out on like the most naturally talented guys. We have a whole bunch of RC racers out there. Jared Tebow actually had a very good idea, and his idea was to put on a race, like a regular RC race, at a amateur motocross race, because it's a week-long race apparently, like say Loretta Lynn's. He says you can have it right along with that race because it's a long race and people there have disposable income, and you can have a race, like a really big RC race there with as many people as you can, like a big race where the race can actually make money, and it could have multiple classes and could be run right along with the Loretta Lynn in front of, like that type of race in front of people. I thought that was also a very good idea, and he talked about it on the podcast many years ago. But yeah, to just have it in, like, back to your question, Charlie Mack, to just have it at a place where people can see it, it's way more than that. You still need to get people there interested, staying there to watch it. I would love to see the one scale elite do some RC racing. Is it like seeing a F1 driver towing a rally car through a forest? Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. Yes, it's the AE vintage race in the Orleans Hotel and Casino here in Vegas. Yep, that's the race I was talking about. Celebrity racing class. Would be cool. Gotta get them there. And that costs money. That costs money that RC racing does not make, unfortunately. All right. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Any more questions? Thank you for the super chat, Donnie Williams. You feel free to leave some super chats if you guys wish. It greatly helps out the podcast, or join our membership. It actually helps us out as well. Somebody sent me a message here. Let me see. Oh, okay, Travis. I got your vlog. I'll check it out when I get a chance. I got to check out Wes Marvel's vlog too of the ProTech race. And any more questions before I move on, or topics? Do you guys like this coffee and waffles? Because I might start doing these more. I like to do them during the day. Remember, I am going live this Thursday with Brock Champlin to talk about the INS race with Alex Sturgeon. We had a good chat with Aiden Horn last week, and we're going to do it again this weekend. And I think the following weekend, we're going to have Eddie Henley on from Hoosier Hobbyplex, who's the owner of the INS Finals track, and he's going to talk about all his preparations he has going on for the INS Finals. Thank you, Skunk City RC. Thank you, X Attack. I think I want to keep it around this time because I would like to get the Europeans in. When I do it evening times, the Europeans are asleep. So I like to do it around 12, 1 o'clock or earlier so we can get them on. Monday, not a bad day. People are kind of at work bored. Maybe I'll do another one this week. We'll see. I know I am doing another live. 2.5 hours. I think that's a good show. We had 48 people in here. Thank you, Maximum RC Hobbies. Don't forget to hit that sub-like notification button. It helps us out as well if you haven't done that already. We want to get to 8,000 subs on the No Name RC podcast page. If you haven't already, go over to the Elite RC Productions page. Help them get to 10,000. They have a awesome video going viral over there, which has helped that extremely grow. You can also follow us on our socials, TikTok, Facebook, as well as Instagram. So I asked this, Charlie Mack. So there was a Supercross race this past weekend. Was that like I'm confused. What was that? I didn't know what that was because I saw the Fullers were there, and I saw it was like I have not been following Supercross or Motocross all year. Thank you, Billy Darlin. Thank you, Igloo. Thank you, Robotech. I like Robotech. He's all about that Nitro life. Good job at SIK Cross this past weekend. Good job at the congratulations, Hugo Tavernon. Congratulations to Feelong winning Truggy. Maifield winning Buggy. Everybody that ran at SIK Cross this past weekend. Good luck to Lance and Danny driving back to Florida. Thank you, everybody that participated in. Oh, they have SX playoffs in the fall months. Awesome. Awesome. How many races is there then? So maybe I'll tune in and watch them. Nitro's definitely glory, Robotech. I enjoyed the E-Buggy routes, but it wasn't Nitro. We'll be doing some more. I think we'll do weekly coffee and waffles. And maybe just coffee with Lefty or Lefty Simple Thoughts. I like them. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the live shows. It's taken me 5 years, but I'm more comfortable with them now. And I can bring up stuff. And if you guys have any topics that you want to talk about, shoot me a message. Shoot me an email, thenonamrcpc@gmail.com. Shoot us a message on the No Name RC Podcast Facebook. Shoot me a message on my personal Facebook. I'm always looking for topic for news to go over as well. And I'll start doing these. I think Monday might be a good day to do these. You'll see. You'll see. I'm not going to be able to do them when I'm on the road, though. And if I'm coming to a track near you, I look for come up and say hello to me. Come over, say hello. If I have stickers, I'll give them to you. A lot of people I talk to on Facebook, I don't know them in person. So I might walk right across you and not know who you are. Just come up and say hello. I'm always going to sit there and talk to you. I love talking to people. I love meeting my RC family. I love you guys. And thank you for all the support. We greatly appreciate it, you guys. We cannot do this without you. And without you guys, we can't do this. So be a good RC ambassador. Let's all race together. Have fun. We are a very small demographic of people. RC racing, it doesn't matter where you're from, what race you are, anything that you think about in life. We have one thing in common. Anything that makes us different in life, we have one thing in common. That common denominator is RC racing. And there's people out there that won't even understand what we're doing, what we do. And that is the glue that keeps us together. And RC has been very good to me. And my RC family has been very good to me as well. And I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy meeting you guys. And it's okay to be geeking out on RC because I do. It's okay. I know others don't get it, but that's fine. We have a passion. We love RC, and it's nothing wrong with that. And it brings people from all walks of life together. And that's what I love about it too. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Nitro is the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. Thank you to all our sponsors that make this happen. They are J Concepts. Oops, sorry. They are J Concepts, High Tech RC, Mayako, Tekno, RC Project, Clinic RC. I got to bring up my sponsor list. I'll forget who they are. Let's start that all over again. They are J Concepts, High Tech RC, Sidewinder Fuels, Latara Racing, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Dollar Hobbies, Side Piece Racing, Get Shit Done Coffee, Elite RC Productions, RC Project, Mayako, Tekno RC, Beach RC, Racecraft USA, and Clinic RC. In the written description of this podcast, we have links to all of those companies. Some of them have coupon codes where you can save some money. Some are affiliate links where we get a little bit of slice of it as well. And some are just links. Let them know you heard about it on the No Name RC podcast, because showing those companies some love shows the podcast some love. We greatly appreciate all you guys' support. It's time to get out of here, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you on the next Lefty Coffee with Lefty. Lefty is out. See you all. Take ta-ta for now. Have a good week.